A party of low-level adventurers spot something ahead, their faces screaming, "We are not paid enough for this." And the system confirms their fears with a friendly elite monster warning, "Hello, giant angry spider face." It is a level 40 poisonous spider queen with her babies, way too close to the beginner village. This party's brilliant strategy is naturally to scream and run for their lives, a classic. But our boy in green, the swordsman, decides running is for chumps and charges straight in. Vaulting over the spiderlings, he makes a beeline for the main boss, leaving his allies in the dust. His teammates watch, calling him an idiot and already planning to loot his corpse for gear. This kid fires back that for him this is not just a game, it is about literal survival. In response, the spider monster brings a massive leg down, aiming to crush him flat. With a flash of light, he parries the blow, his sword somehow holding against the immense force. Though he holds his ground, a system alert confirms he is now poisoned and losing health every second. From the bushes, the peanut gallery is still calling him crazy while one guy calls dibs on his sword. This swordsman weaves through another deadly strike, moving with impossible speed and precision. Activating his Eye of Insight, his gaze sharpens, looking for the perfect opening to attack. An opening appears, letting him land a massive triple damage critical hit right on the monster's face. After the strike, he lands with two swords ready, a mysterious golden chain wrapped around his arm. Lunging forward, the beast tries to bite him, but he jams his blade right between its fangs. His former party is shocked by his damage output but notes he stuck something in the ground earlier. A brutal slash catches him across the back as he disengages, blood flying everywhere. But it was all to lure the beast into a tripwire made of swords and that golden chain. He pops a healing item, barely out-healing the poison damage ticking away at his health. With his HP dropping fast, Grand Dream knows he is on a timer and his stats are hilariously bad for this fight. As he dodges, he is still dishing out multi-hit damage to the spiderlings around him. But the queen is not having it, bringing a massive sideleg down to end him right there. His eyes glow with pure focus as he prepares to meet the attack head-on. And he somehow parries the blow, the impact sending sparks flying from his blade. That golden chain snaps tight, yanking the beast's leg into the ground for a huge critical hit. From the bushes, his ally offers some top-tier advice, just die and try again, super helpful. Grand Dream knows he was a hair's breadth from being one-shotted by that elite monster. But he just smirks and calls the near-death experience a warm-up. What a legend. Turns out the swords he planted earlier were anchors for a binding chain trap. This spider queen is now completely immobilized inside a glowing golden cage. Looking up at the trapped beast, he finally has it right where he wants it. This chains dig in, sparking as they constrict and weaken the monster's defenses. A system window confirms it, the spider's defense has been shattered down to zero. His old party is absolutely losing their minds, wondering how he pulled this off with beginner gear. Grand Dream declares he is taking the server's first elite kill for himself. He then rushes in, a blur of motion, ready to finish the now defenseless boss. With a final determined glare, he prepares to land the killing strike, and a world announcement with fireworks confirms Grand Dream just got the server first kill. This server chat immediately explodes with players calling Grand Dream a pay-to-win whale. But back in reality, he takes off his VR helmet looking completely drained from the fight, and the big reveal hits. Our boy is sitting in a wheelchair looking utterly defeated. He introduces himself as Jiang Liu, his real-world identity finally revealed to us. Turns out he has got an incurable disease and has been given only 6 months to live. His family is too poor for the medicine that could extend his life, but a friend sent a message, offering him a gift, a game that might be his only real chance to survive. This game, New Origin, was created from a spiritual world found inside a meteorite, totally normal. After launching, it became a global phenomenon that swept across the entire world. Players can even awaken real-world powers, and he got invited to a special beta chat group. Except this wild monster chat group is not for players, it is literally for the game's monsters. He overhears them talking about hiding a heavenly god's secret treasure in the beginner village. Jiang Liu quickly realizes this chat is an insane cheat code for finding secret information. So acting on the tip, he heads straight to the location and starts digging. And what do you know, he unearths the heavenly god's secret treasure just like they said. From the chest, he pulls out a brand new amethyst sword, a solid piece of gear. He also learns Eye of Insight, a passive skill that lets him spot enemy weaknesses. With this monster intel, he figures he can get strong way faster than anyone else. Meanwhile, in the monster chat, the little white rabbit is absolutely losing its mind over the stolen treasure. Jiang Liu's resolve hardens. He is going to use this to survive and save his family. We flash back to Jiang Liu in a hospital bed, his whole family gathered around looking completely helpless. His brother makes a tearful promise to work hard and earn money for his cure. Meanwhile, his parents are just broken, his mother apologizing for being too poor to save him, and all this fuels Jiang Liu's burning desire to escape this absolute hellhole of a life. Back in the present, he injects himself with another dose of his expensive medicine. This is his last one for 3 days, making the game his only real shot at survival. With a flash of pure resolve in his eyes, he knows he cannot afford to fail. So Jiang Liu turns right back to his desk, ready to log into New Origin again. He checks the monster chat and sees them panicking about big shots coming to the beginner village. This new intel immediately gets his mind racing about inheritances and resources ripe for the taking. Without wasting a second, he puts on the VR helmet and dives back into the game. Logging in, Grand Dream is finally ready to check out the loot he scored from the Spider Queen. He pulls up his inventory, eager to see what kind of gear a server-first elite kill gets you, and the haul is stacked, a full set of black iron armor and a silver tier ring. Zhang Liu cannot help but grin, knowing this gear is exactly the power boost he needed. Just then, a tiny system spirit appears, calling him master and offering his special first kill rewards. And naturally, the system spirit is a gorgeous elf lady, because of course she is. His reward is a passive skill that guarantees a critical hit every third strike, which is just completely broken. Thinking smart, he asks her to hide his name and level, getting a slick new cloak to go incognito. Now fully geared up, he is already wondering what it'll be like to hunt down a real boss monster. His system spirit explains that black iron gear is basically top tier for the early game. And we get a quick visual of the weapon tiers, climbing from basic all the way to diamond. She also confirms that boss drops are way more powerful than anything a normal mob drops. Zhang Liu processes all this, already calculating how much of an edge he has now. Out in the woods, he is suddenly spotted by another party who seem to know who he is. Their leader, a guy in heavy armor, tells his crew to get ready while they ask to inspect Zhang Liu's gear. Our boy tries to brush them off, saying he is in a hurry and has no time for their games. But two of the goons block his path, insisting it is an honor to be shaken down by their boss. He just smirks, basically asking if they are seriously trying to rob him right now. This leader laughs, confirming that his clan Zing Hang always takes whatever it wants. Then he launches into a whole speech about how the strong make the rules, a classic villain TED talk. One of his lackeys charges forward, ready to teach Zhang Liu a lesson about respect. Except Zhang Liu dodges the attack so easily the guy is left swinging at nothing but air. Mid-fight, he casually asks his spirit about the pain settings, learning it is only 5% of real life. After getting his answer, he dismisses her, ready to handle these clowns himself. Thinking fast, he dumps all 10 of his unspent attribute points straight into agility. His stat sheet pops up, confirming his agility is now a respectable 30 points. As the goons charge again, their boss yells at them not to damage the gear. Gotta love those priorities. With his new speed, Zhang Liu is just a blur, effortlessly weaving between their attacks. He reappears in a goon's face, activating Eye of Insight for a 3-hit combo. It is about to go down. That new passive skill kicks in immediately, landing a triple damage critical hit that just melts the goon's health bar. And the guy literally dissolves in disbelief, screaming about getting one-shotted. So much for that honor. His buddy sees this and wisely decides to nope right out of there, turning tail and running for the hills. From the back, the Zing Hang leader is having a full-on meltdown, unable to process this level of power. But there is no outrunning Zhang Liu, who closes the distance with a massive glowing slash. He is on the second goon in an instant, a blur of motion appearing right behind him. With a cold, focused glare, our boy brings his blade down to end this little chase. And just like that, the second lackey is deleted by another multi-hit combo, leaving only the boss. With the warm-up over, Zhang Liu turns his full attention to the guy in charge. He even offers a backhanded compliment, noting the leader's defense is quite high. This, of course, sends the leader into a rage, and he charges forward screaming. Their blades meet in a flash of steel, the first real exchange of the fight. But Zhang Liu's combo still connects, landing a nasty critical hit right on the boss himself. This leader is completely stunned, realizing just how bizarre and deadly his opponent's skills are. Now it is a proper one-on-one, and Zhang Liu lets him know his turn is up. Just then, another player appears, revealing he is the one who sold out Zhang Liu's location for a spot in the clan. And the Zing Hang leader's first act of leadership is to use his new recruit as a human shield. What a guy. As Zhang Liu is forced to deal with the traitor, the boss uses the opening to swing his massive weapon. He roars that he is going to hack our boy to pieces, bringing the blade down with everything he has got. But Zhang Liu parries the blow, their weapons clashing as he continues to dish out damage. That triple damage critical hit connects, and the Zing Hang leader coughs up blood from the impact. Zhang Liu calmly agrees with the guy's whole might makes right speech, just not how he expected. He then throws the villain's own words back at him while driving his sword straight through his chest. As he dissolves, the leader screams about getting revenge, a classic villain exit with zero follow-through. With the wannabe tyrants deleted, Zhang Liu turns to collect the loot they so kindly dropped for him. This haul is mostly junk, but he does score a pair of black iron tier swift boots. After equipping the agility-boosting boots, he decides it is time to head back to the beginner village. Back in town, he is on the lookout for the big shots the monster chat was panicking about. He immediately overhears players complaining that an NPC is killing people inside the safe zone, which is new. His attention is then drawn to a small, barefoot girl asking a man if his food is delicious. Zhang Liu watches from a distance as this girl pleads with a well-dressed man at a bakery counter. This guy smugly shows off a slice of cake, bragging about its special, high-end ingredients, and the little girl's eyes just light up, completely mesmerized by the dessert. But the man is a total jerk, cruelly shooing her away for daring to ruin his afternoon tea. Zhang Liu immediately recognizes this cliché storyline. This girl has to be one of the special NPCs. This poor kid starts sobbing, crying that she has not eaten anything in 3 whole days. Her tears trigger a painful memory for Zhang Liu, reminding him of his own family's struggles. In a flashback, we see his own little brother and sister begging for cake they could not afford. He had to lie to them back then, saying the cake was not any good just to get them to leave. Back in the present, he gives a small smile. Even if it is a cliché, this one hits a little too close to home. Jiang Liu steps in between the jerk and the little girl, clearly not getting the memo. Looking a little flustered, he just offers to buy the cake to end this whole scene. But the guy smirks, naming a price that is suspiciously the exact amount of money in Jiang Liu's wallet. Our boy's brain just short-circuits, realizing this NPC can somehow see his entire inventory. A quick mental calculation confirms it is all the money he has painstakingly farmed in the game. Just then, a small hand tugs on his cloak, pulling him back to the moment. He turns to find the little girl looking up at him with those big, sad eyes, and with tears welling up she tells him she is so hungry, which totally works. He grits his teeth and agrees to the insane price, gambling that this is a major quest trigger. With a huge grin, the jerk NPC swipes the payment, thanking him for his patronage. Jiang Liu is now officially broke, holding one tiny, ridiculously overpriced slice of cake. As soon as he hands it over, the little girl starts glowing with a seriously ominous purple aura. Her whole demeanor shifts and she smirks, impressed by the boldness of the server's first killer. This purple energy then just erupts from her, flooding the entire street in a flash. And she transforms into a tall, bunny-eared woman named Lunaria, who reveals other players failed her test. Some players were even rude to her, she explains, so she just straight up deleted them. It clicks for Jiang Liu. This is the NPC who was killing players inside the supposedly safe zone. She then leans in, getting right up in his personal space with a knowing smile. Touching his chin, she says he has a good heart and that she likes him, a pretty big compliment from a player killer. She then turns away, holding some kind of glowing reward, and casually says they will leave it at that for now. Lunaria sends him off to complete her trial, casually mentioning his destiny is not half bad. A quest marker then zaps into existence right in front of him, much to the surprise of onlookers. Other players are completely floored, realizing he actually triggered the quest from that little girl NPC. Jiang Liu cannot help but smile, thinking he has just landed himself a unique questline. But his celebration is cut short when he checks his inventory and asks, "Wait, my wallet." This kid has a full-blown panic attack, screaming because every single coin he just earned is gone. Now totally broke, he figures he has to sell the junk gear from those Zing Hang goons for supply money, so he heads over to the beginner village market to set up a little pop-up shop. A crowd immediately gathers, freaking out over the insane stats on his supposedly crude gear. A bidding war kicks off instantly, with offers jumping from 10 to 30 silver coins in seconds. Just then, a new player steps in and shuts everyone down with a massive offer of 1 gold coin. This guy is one immortal, the big boss of a major guild backed by a huge corporation. He smoothly asks Jiang Liu if they can take this conversation somewhere a little more private. Our boy, playing it cool as ever, just gives a little smirk and agrees. In a nearby cafe, one immortal probes, asking if he is really a solo player who got all this gear alone. Jiang Liu just sips his tea, giving absolutely nothing away, a total power move. This guild leader explains the gold coin was just a friendly hello and he is hoping they can cooperate, that one word. Cooperate finally gets Jiang Liu's full attention. Getting to the real point, one immortal asks if he has ever heard of a hidden class medal. He explains that beyond the basic classes, there are thousands of secret, powerful ones up for grabs. One immortal lays out his deal. If Jiang Liu finds a hidden class medal, he will pay a very sincere price for it. Our boy is immediately suspicious, asking why this guy thinks he is the chosen one for such a rare drop. This guild leader explains that with his insane gear progression, Jiang Liu is clearly way ahead of the curve. Jiang Liu's face just screams, "So you are just trying to figure out my secrets, got it?" With a totally unconvincing laugh, one immortal insists he is not trying to pry into anything at all. He then says our boy just reminds him of another legendary solo player he once knew. This legend apparently dismantled a top 10 guild all by himself, a subtle but very clear comparison. After the flattery, he gets to the point, saying he needs to cooperate with strong players to protect his guild. He wraps up his pitch by saying he has a premonition that Jiang Liu is the key to what he needs. Jiang Liu leaves the meeting, mulling over the offer but prioritizing that quest from the bunny girl demon. Out in the wild, he recalls the monster chat mentioning sand turtles on a rocky coast. A quick check of the chat log confirms it. The turtles are stuck, making them an easy target. But just as he is about to move out, he spots another party of players blocking his path. And it is another Zing Hang crew, condescendingly asking what level he is and why he is hiding his name. They offer him a spot in their party to hunt sand turtles, saying they need a meat shield, a tank. Jiang Liu just brushes them off, saying he prefers to work alone, which they just cannot seem to process. This leader scoffs, pointing out the turtles have high defense and even the top-ranked weapon can barely hurt them. His female companion chimes in, explaining that the #1 weapon, the amethyst sword, only has 10-15 attack. And the absolute best part is they are lecturing the literal owner of that very sword. The irony is just beautiful. As he walks off, they mock him for being a greedy solo player who will come crawling back for help. Jiang Liu recognizes he is in Zing Hang territory again and figures he should be a little more careful. He arrives at the West Coast beach, seeing the sand turtles just like the monster chat promised. Nearby, the Zing Hang party he just ditched is struggling, taking 30 minutes to kill one turtle, yikes. Our boy watches this sad display, wondering where the special stuck turtle spot is. His eyes scan the area until he notices a small forest off to the side. Peeking through the bushes, he realizes he has found the hidden location from the chat log. And it is an absolute jackpot, a whole line of sand turtles trapped in a narrow channel. A closer look confirms it. One is completely wedged between the rocks and cannot move at all. With a less than sincere apology, he leaps down to start the exp farm. This first turtle gets absolutely deleted, dissolving into a shower of blue light instantly. At the same time, the Zing Hang crew is celebrating their 20-minute kill, hyping up an 8-point crit, bless their hearts. Their leader is just basking in the praise when a party member spots movement in the forest. From their hiding spot, they witness a massive flash of light as Jiang Liu one-shots another turtle. This whole group just stares in disbelief, their leader literally face-palming at this power gap. Jiang Liu is a whirlwind of slashes, carving through the helpless turtles with massive damage numbers. Then it clicks, they realize it is the same solo player they tried to recruit as a meat shield earlier. One of them finally points out that the turtles are not even fighting back, which seems important. This woman puts it together, realizing a rock has them all trapped in the perfect farming spot. Her teammate immediately suggests they jump him and take the spot for themselves. But another guy talks them down, saying they'd probably lose and just attract more trouble. This Zing Hang goon gets a brilliant idea: why not call their boss over to claim the spot? His leader absolutely loves this, already picturing the praise they will get for securing this prime real estate. Meanwhile, Jiang Liu is still farming, complaining that the quest item drop rate is absolute garbage. At least the turtles drop some gear, so he figures the grind is not a complete waste of time. He is already level 6 but notes how tough the game is, especially with these high defense mobs. A quick peek at his stats reveals that insane 50 agility he has been stacking up. Suddenly, a massive sand turtle looms over him, looking way more intimidating than its little name suggests. But this one is completely wedged between the rocks, looking absolutely terrified. Not so tough now, are ya? With a grin, Jiang Liu gets ready to take full advantage of this perfect, helpless target. He unleashes a powerful slash and the poor turtle does not even know what hit it. Just then the ground shakes and a monstrous spiky turtle bursts out of nowhere. That is definitely not a little one. A rare monster spawn, of course, because his day just was not interesting enough already. Checking his chat log, he wonders if this is the monster the Zing Hang boss was sending people to clear. This is a golden opportunity, he thinks, a chance to snag the first kill on a rare mob all by himself. From the bushes, the Zing Hang crew watches the rare monster charge, betting he is about to run for his life. But our boy does the exact opposite, charging straight at the beast with his sword drawn. He unloads a flurry of slashes, landing double, triple, and even a critical hit on the monster's shell. This monster is thankfully slow, so he can use his high agility to stay just out of its reach. His agility is so high now he is confident he can pull off a 4-hit combo to take it down. Leaping into the air, he prepares to bring his sword down for a decisive blow. This Zing Hang crew is absolutely losing their minds, thinking this guy's skill is on par with the server's top-ranked player. Jiang Liu, however, knows this is a tough fight, noting the rare turtle still has a solid 30% health left. Just then he hears a commotion and turns, sensing more trouble on the way. And it is the Zing Hang boss himself, Tianxia, leading a massive party to steal the kill and wipe him out. This boss immediately lunges at Jiang Liu, who barely manages to parry the surprise attack. Tianxia then orders his 100+ goons to wear down the monster, saving the final blow for himself. What a hero. He smugly greets Jiang Liu, remembering him as the wretch who stole his guild's gear and promising revenge. Our boy is now surrounded, realizing every single one of these new arrivals is a higher level than him. This is the power of a corporate-sponsored guild, he thinks, and this fight just got a lot harder. Meanwhile, the original Zing Hang party is still hiding, deciding it is probably a bad idea to try and claim credit when they are so underleveled. Their brilliant new strategy is to just wait and try to steal the kill from their own boss later, loyalty at its finest. Back on the beach, one of the first goons he beat charges in, demanding his gear back like a toddler. Jiang Liu dodges with ease, coolly reminding him that if he killed him once, he can definitely do it again. Deciding to make an example of him, he raises his sword to strike. But another Zing Hang member intercepts with a shield, saving his buddy from getting deleted a second time. This successful block actually catches Jiang Liu off guard, surprised they have decent defensive equipment. Their boss, Tianxia, gets tired of waiting and charges in with a glowing axe, demanding to know why Jiang Liu is not running. He lands a heavy critical hit, smashing into our boy for a solid 32 damage. Jiang Liu gets thrown back by the force of the blow, looking up at the guild leader. A moment later, his chest tightens and he wonders if the axe had some kind of delayed effect. This Zing Hang goons close in, taunting him for standing still and assuming he has finally given up. A painful memory suddenly flashes back, getting stabbed in the back and mocked for his first kill title. In this vision, he is surrounded and humiliated as Tianxia demands he hand over every piece of gear. Tianxia's offer is pure blackmail, publicly lie that he only won by sneak attack or else. And the threat is absolutely brutal. His guild will camp the revival point and hunt him down to level 0. Back in the present, the stress triggers a terrifying physical reaction, a precursor to his real-life illness. Tianxia, completely oblivious to our boy's crisis, just keeps smugly pushing his generous offer. But the boss's monologue is cut short when he notices a sudden commotion from his guildmates. His men run back in a panic, screaming that the rare turtle mutated because they fed it too much exp by dying, a truly brilliant strategy. And sure enough, the newly empowered monster is now rampaging through the Zing Hang ranks. This whole guild gets absolutely wrecked, with players getting blown away while screaming for their boss to save them. Tianxia desperately tries to rally his fleeing troops, yelling that the monster only has 19 HP left. To stop the rout, he promises a piece of black iron tier gear to everyone who helps take it down. That promise of loot is all it takes for the guild to find their courage again, ready to Zerg rush the monster. With renewed greed, the entire mob charges forward, completely focused on the rare kill. Amid the chaos, someone finally notices that Jiang Liu has vanished from his spot. He did not run away, he is making a beeline straight for the weakened monster to steal the kill. Jiang Liu knows he cannot log off now, pushing through the pain to secure the prize he earned. Tianxia sees this and absolutely loses it, screaming that the first kill of the rare monster is his. This two are on a collision course, with Tianxia demanding he get out of the way, but Jiang Liu is not backing down an inch. Tianxia charges in, screaming about how dare Jiang Liu defy his precious guild. Jiang Liu easily parries the blow, sparks flying from the impact. This two of them are locked in a standoff on the beach, ready for round 2. But they have both forgotten one very large, very angry participant in this fight. This rare turtle looms over them, deciding it has had enough of being ignored, and it immediately starts rampaging through the Zing Hang goons instead of our boy Perfect. Seeing his chance, Jiang Liu activates a combo skill, his eyes glowing with focus. He unleashes a flurry of strikes, landing the final 19 points of damage to steal the kill. From the bushes, the original Zing Hang crew can only stare, wondering what kind of monster they just witnessed. A world announcement declares Grand Dream the winner, securing the first kill on the rare turtle. This rewards just pour in 3 level ups, a health pill, and a piece of gold tier gear. With a cold stare, he dumps all his new stats into agility, promising to wipe out the rest of the guild. This remaining Zing Hang members are absolutely terrified, begging him to stay away. But Jiang Liu becomes a whirlwind of death, carving through them as they cry about their expensive armor dropping. Just then, a completely new party of players shows up, looking very confused by the massacre. They find our boy standing over a beach littered with bodies and loot, telling him to stop right there. Their leader, a priest, tries to play peacemaker, but Jiang Liu is already done with this whole mess. He just walks off, leaving the entire pile of Zing Hang's dropped gear behind for them to clean up. Finally, alone, he collapses, needing to log off and deal with the spoils of his one-man war. His first move is to message one immortal, offering 100 pieces of gear, and the guy is on his way instantly. Just as he is catching his breath, Jiang Liu senses another massive shadow looming over him. And of course, it is another elite little sand turtle the game really loves to pile it on. He gets to his feet, sarcastically thanking the monster for its absolutely perfect timing. But he knows the symptoms. His real-life illness is flaring up and he is on a very tight clock. A painful memory flashes back of his father, admitting he could not afford his medicine. His mother's desperate pleas echo in his mind, reminding him of the real-world stakes. But he has always put his family first, even when it meant sacrificing his own health. Back in the game, all that pain and desperation explodes into a furious battle cry. He charges forward, aiming his sword right at the monster's giant, toothy maw. For years he has carried the weight of being the eldest son, and he is not about to fail now. His blade becomes a blur, landing triple damage and a massive critical hit on the beast. Another memory surfaces of him carrying his little sister through a ruined world. He remembers pointing out the distant city of the rich, a world away from their struggles. His sister's innocent wish to become wealthy herself became his life's mission, and he promised her he'd work hard enough to make that dream a reality. This game, he realizes, is his one real chance to change everything for his family. With renewed purpose, he prepares to finish this fight once and for all. He is not about to let this hard-won advantage get snatched away from him. So he dives straight for the kill, refusing to hand this victory over on a silver platter. And a world announcement confirms it. Grand Dream has done it again, leaving other players totally stunned. This world chat absolutely explodes, with players calling Grand Dream a god for snagging 3 first kills. His latest haul includes a fancy necklace, some new boots, and a pair of slick-looking gauntlets. Back on the beach, Jiang Liu is barely on his feet, admiring the spoils of his victory. But his face suddenly twists in pain, realizing the fight took a much bigger toll than he thought. This system force logs him out, leaving his character completely vulnerable in an unsafe zone, which is just perfect. In the real world, his gaming helmet detaches and clatters to the floor. Jiang Liu is huddled on his bed, shivering violently as the symptoms of his illness flare up. He wonders in agony if his body can even survive another 6 months on this clock. Just then, his mom comes home with groceries, cheerfully announcing a special dinner. She calls out his name, looking into the room for her son, and Jiang Liu immediately puts on a brave face, insisting he is feeling great and ready to help. This whole family gathers for a meal, enjoying some rare, ferocious beast meat his dad bought with his pay. His younger brother kindly offers him a piece of the prized food. But Jiang Liu pushes it back, saying his brother needs it more for his cultivation as a level 2 awakened. Their dad encourages the younger son, telling him to accept his big brother's selfless gift. This completely inspires the kid, who promises to become a level 3 and move them to a better district. With a proud smile, their father expresses his complete faith in his son's determination. Then we get a quick flashback to their world's reality, a giant tentacle monster wrecking a city. It turns out a small portion of humanity has awakened with enhanced bodies to fight back. Some of these individuals even gain special arts, becoming incredibly powerful warriors. This federation saw the power of the awakened and decided to build a brand new world order. This created a massive class divide, the chaotic old district versus the shiny new one for elites. In this new paradise, the rich and powerful enjoy cutting-edge tech and a perfect life. And there is only one ticket in for the poor: raise a level 3 awakened in your family. After dinner, Jiang Liu excuses himself, knowing that leveling up requires a mountain of cash. This game is his only shot, so he grabs his helmet, ready to dive back in and grind. With his family's future on the line, he logs back into the world of origin. He is already bracing for the worst, assuming all the gear he dropped has been looted by now. But logging in, he finds himself sitting right where he left off, completely unharmed. Looking up, he sees a group of players gathered around his pile of loot, including a red-haired guy. It is one immortal who has apparently been guarding the gear and telling scavengers to get lost. This other players wisely decide not to pick a fight with the infamous immortal group and scatter. Jiang Liu approaches his unexpected guardian, finally getting to meet the guy he messaged. One immortal is surrounded by the spoils of war, impressed and curious about this mystery expert. He instantly recognizes him as Grand Dream, warning him how risky it was to log off there. Jiang Liu just brushes it off, saying something urgent came up, a massive understatement. Getting straight to business, he offers to sell every last piece of the Zing Hang guild's dropped gear. One immortal is blown away, admitting he cannot even begin to guess how strong Jiang Liu really is. He agrees to buy it all, saying his group desperately needs the beginner equipment to get started. Then he offers to pay in real-world currency, 50,000 star coins, leaving Jiang Liu absolutely speechless. Jiang Liu's brain just short-circuits at the number 50,000, his eyes literally turning into dollar signs. That is more than his parents make in a year, enough to buy his medicine and feed his family well. One immortal happily seals the deal, scooping up all the Zing Hang hand-me-downs. And then he hits him with the classic MMO recruitment pitch. "Wanna join our group?" He even sweetens the pot, promising our boy the best possible treatment in the guild. For a second, Jiang Liu actually considers it, knowing the guy would probably treat him well. But he politely turns him down, explaining that the solo life is just too good to give up. One immortal just laughs it off, admitting his bosses made him ask, no hard feelings at all. They part on good terms with a promise to do business again in the future. Finally alone, Jiang Liu pulls up his inventory to see what goodies he actually earned from those turtles. First up is a permanent stat potion and a freaking gold tier dagger, followed by a silver tier necklace that gives him a blink skill and some heavy armor. And to top it off, he gets matching gauntlets and boots, completing the whole elite set. He is absolutely beaming, realizing he just hit the jackpot all over again. So of course he immediately equips everything, looking like a total paladin now. This system confirms the potion boost and a massive set bonus for wearing all the elite gear. His stats are now through the roof, and he has even got a short-range teleport skill. But he realizes the flashy new armor is basically a giant rob me sign. So he asks the system spirit to give him a cosmetic overlay, making him look like a noob again. With that sorted, he inspects the gold dagger, but its stats are hidden, leaving him totally stumped. He tries every magic word he can think of to unlock the dagger. Open sesame is probably next. When that fails, he just starts yelling at the inanimate object like a broken toaster. Getting seriously annoyed, he wonders if he has to just chuck the thing to get it to work. And with zero hesitation, he yeets the priceless gold-tier weapon into the sky, a bold strategy. This dagger soars through the air, probably wondering what it did to deserve this owner. But it is suddenly snatched out of the sky by a mysterious hand, which finds it interesting. Jiang Liu is completely stunned, realizing he is not alone on this beach anymore. A woman with bunny ears inspects his dagger, calling its stats average but the skill intriguing. Our boy immediately demands it back, calling her a demoness, which is not the best opening line. Her aura turns absolutely terrifying, forcing him to correct himself with a very respectful Lord Lunaria. She casually asks about her trial, reminding him he was supposed to be killing monsters for her. Jiang Liu quickly hands over a bag of quest items, explaining he got lucky with a monster-induced tornado. With the quest complete, she holds out a glowing orb, offering him his well-earned reward. A brilliant flash of light confirms it. Jiang Liu hits a level up, bathing in the golden glow. She then tosses the dagger back, now fully identified with some absolutely broken stats. He cannot believe his eyes. A 10% chance to deal 10 times the damage is just ridiculous. Lunaria smugly explains that an item's final stats depend on the appraiser, basically calling herself a master. His eyes literally glow with power, realizing he just won the lottery, having her appraise his gear. She then sends him on his next trial, telling him to go collect 100 bat fangs from a cave. Jiang Liu graciously thanks her, saying the appraisal was reward enough as he heads off. Jiang Liu checks his quest reward, which turns out to be a grand total of 0 coins, thanks for nothing. As he stands on the beach, his money is represented by a black line that just zips away into the sky. And he absolutely loses it, screaming that the demoness has officially made him broke all over again. Grumbling as he runs through the forest, he swears this next quest better have a decent payout. But then he remembers seeing something about a bat cave in the wild monster chat group, so he pulls up his system window to do a little bit of intel gathering on the fly. And bingo, the chat logs mention a hidden class medal being held by a boss in that very cave. Annoyed that Lunaria was so vague, he asks the system's spirit for a proper dungeon guide. His personal elf assistant pops up ready and waiting for her master's command. In adorable chibi form, she explains the Bat Cave is a high-difficulty zone and the only way forward. It is also where players farm the 5 major class medals needed to advance after level 10. Jiang Liu tells her he is aiming higher, asking specifically about the hidden asterisk class medals. But the spirit just gives him a smug little smile, saying that info is classified super helpful. With no help from the system or other players, he realizes he will have to rely on himself. Just knowing the medal exists is enough for him, so he charges off toward the cave entrance. He arrives to find a whole crowd of players shouting for party members outside a spooky purple portal. Looking around, he is surprised to see so many level 9 and 10 players already gathered here. Just then, a party respawns, complaining that 10 of them got wiped by a single bat. Yikes. A friendly-looking dude taps him on the shoulder, offering him a spot in their party for safety. But Jiang Liu just gives a calm smile and turns him down. He works much better alone. He strolls right into the dungeon portal, leaving the crowd wondering which god-tier player just showed up. Inside, the Bat Cave is exactly as creepy and blue as you'd expect. Jiang Liu decides it is the perfect time to test his new dagger, dumping all his stat points into agility. A vampire bat dives at him, but his new stats give him all the confidence he needs for this trial. With a graceful spin, he dodges the initial attack like it is nothing, all that agility paying off. He lands, calling out the bat for its cheap shot, which is just hilarious. Smirking, our boy declares this poor, unsuspecting monster will be his first test subject. His new dagger becomes a blur, landing a flurry of critical hits on the creature. This bat fights back with a nasty-looking claw swipe, slicing through the air with purple energy. But Jiang Liu just scoffs at the attack's speed, delivering some truly next-level gamer trash talk. Effortlessly dodging again, he leaps onto its back and stabs it for another chunk of damage. He flips off the now staggering bat, which clearly did not sign up for this level of abuse. Midair, Jiang Liu prepares to unleash one of his new skills. A spectral blue wolf skill absolutely demolishes the bat, hitting for insane damage numbers. Just then, a system alert warns him about an incoming elite monster, catching him off guard. And there it is, a much bigger, beefier elite vampire bat with triple the health. Instead of being scared, Jiang Liu just grins, thinking this is finally a real challenge. But then he remembers the intel. Elite monsters do not actually drop the hidden class medal he is after. Looking closer at the swarm, he spots a smaller, different-looking bat hiding behind the big guy. Jiang Liu realizes his true target is not the elite brawler up front, but the sneaky one in the back. Meanwhile, another party is giving themselves a pep talk on how to maybe survive one bat. Their leader is feeling pretty tough until his teammate points out the absolute blur that just passed them. It is Jiang Liu, who is already carving his way through a whole swarm like they are just an inconvenience. These guys are absolutely floored, realizing he is soloing an elite and rocking the #1 dagger in the game. Annoyed that the big bat is blocking his path, Jiang Liu unleashes a furious, glowing slash. He follows up with a brutal stab right to the face, ending the elite monster instantly. A server-wide alert announces his first kill, leaving the other party staring at damage numbers they cannot even comprehend. Our boy just smirks, happy that his dagger's 10x damage proc finally went off. And with the big guy down, he finally has a clear shot at the little pink bat he was after all along. Without a second thought, he dashes deeper into the cave, leaving the gawking players in his dust. Suddenly, that other party becomes his #1 fan club, begging him to carry them through the dungeon. Jiang Liu is completely weirded out by the sudden thirst and just wants to get away from them. But they physically block his path, literally begging to cling to his thigh, which is not a good look, guys. While he is dealing with his new stalkers, the little pink bat makes a run for it. He finally manages to shake the clingy party, breathing a sigh of relief to be alone again. With the coast clear, he pulls up his inventory to see what the elite monster actually dropped. This loot turns out to be an archer-class change medal, a pretty standard find for this dungeon. Jiang Liu sighs, realizing this is not the hidden medal he is hunting for after all. But then he notices something on his system screen that gives him pause. And he taps a glowing earpiece, looking like he is about to make a very important call. It is a call from one immortal, the guy he sold the gear to, asking if he is running carries in the Bat Cave. This dude offers him a job, 30,000 coins per person he carries, but they get all the class medals. Jiang Liu immediately haggles him down to 20,000, but with a condition that he gets the 5 main medals. And then he drops the real kicker. He is keeping the hidden class medal for himself, no exceptions. One immortal agrees instantly, even asking for a spare if 2 happen to drop, sealing the deal. With the call over, Jiang Liu figures this is a pretty easy way to make back the money Lunaria scammed him out of. Meanwhile, in the real world, a fist slams down in rage over someone named Grand Dream. We are back at the Zing Hang guild office, where the boss is getting an earful about Jiang Liu's first kill. His blonde subordinate is way too relaxed, saying their company has deep pockets and can catch up. But the boss is absolutely losing it, screaming that Grand Dream's success is about to get him demoted. He desperately asks for news about a player named blood-drinking Mad Saber, their potential new recruit. This Mad Saber guy is apparently willing to join them for a cool million plus 50k for every person he carries. This boss considers the price, noting that if this guy can get rid of Grand Dream, it is worth every penny. His subordinate confirms Mad Saber already hates our boy and wants to livestream a 1v1 to crush him. And to prove his worth, he just got the server's very first boss monster kill. This guy's legit. A truly sinister smile spreads across the boss's face as he plans to make Jiang Liu pay for everything. Back in the Batcave, Jiang Liu's new party finally arrives, led by one immortal himself. A teammate asks what this grand dream they hired even looks like, getting a vague description of a loner. At which point another party member just points directly at Jiang Liu, who's been standing there the whole time. Our boy just gives a friendly wave, ready to get this awkward business arrangement started. One immortal's crew finally arrives, with the man himself offering a cheerful apology for the wait. This blonde teammate immediately judges Jiang Liu for being scrawny, not the beefcake she expected Grand Dream to be. Her blue-haired buddy is also full of doubt, wondering how this average-looking guy can possibly carry them. Jiang Liu just offers a completely unbothered, almost cheeky smile in response to all the skepticism. For his rudeness, the blue-haired guy gets a disciplinary smack from one immortal who is trying to keep the peace. This poor guy whines that even with low pain settings, a smack to the head is still a smack to the head. This blonde woman starts crushing on their new boss just as a bat swoops down from the ceiling. Jiang Liu reacts instantly, shoving them all to the ground as a purple attack zips right over their heads. A whole swarm of vampire bats descends, their red eyes glowing in the dark cave. While the party panics about sneak attacks, our boy calmly draws his now-identified dagger. One immortal offers to help, but Jiang Liu is already gone, telling them to just stay put. He becomes a literal blur, weaving through the swarm and leaving a trail of damage numbers in his wake. With a fluid motion, he dodges a lunge and carves a clean slice across a bat's chest. Another one gets a dagger straight to the face for its trouble, a truly personal greeting. Leaping into the air, he finishes the last one with a massive 2900 damage crit, an absolute overkill. His eyes glowing with power, Jiang Liu just calmly announces that the job is done. He stands alone as the monsters dissolve into light, his cape billowing for maximum dramatic effect. His new party is completely speechless, trying to process the insane damage numbers and his sudden glow-up. An archer medal drops, and Jiang Liu just casually tosses it over, telling them to grab it and move on. One immortal finally connects the dots, asking if that is the legendary #1 dagger from the weapon leaderboards. One immortal's crew is completely starstruck, gushing over his insane damage with such ordinary gear. And Jiang Liu just gives a pained smile, thinking this is exactly why he prefers to be a solo player. With the awkwardness out of the way, the newly formed party ventures deeper into the cavern. But they come to a sudden stop, the mood shifting as they stare into the oppressive darkness ahead. They have reached a fork with 3 tunnels, and one immortal admits he has no idea which way to go. Jiang Liu just shrugs, saying to pick one at random, which his new fan club thinks is brilliant, of course. Just then, the blonde teammate yells for him to look up, her voice filled with panic, because the entire ceiling is covered in a horrifying swarm of sleeping vampire bats. While the others are ready to turn and run, Jiang Liu calmly tells them to wait a moment. A confident grin spreads across his face as he announces that he has found it. He has spotted his real target, the little pink bat that escaped from him earlier. So he tells the party this is the right path, thinking it is perfect for both loot and his quest. A teammate points out the obvious problem. There is no way he can dodge that many monsters at once. But our boy just smirks, telling them he has a plan and to stay back to avoid the bleed damage. His new party does not need to be told twice, immediately booking it to the back of the cave. With the coast clear, Jiang Liu grips his dagger as it begins to glow with crackling energy. He unleashes a ranged slash, sending a wave of blue light hurtling toward a single bat. But the attack only wounds the creature, which turns on him with a furious screech. His party absolutely loses it, realizing his failure to one-shot the bat is about to wake the whole swarm. This enraged monster smashes the ground where he stood, only to find Jiang Liu has already vanished. He reappears in a flash of blue light, having easily dodged the enraged monster's attack. His party is absolutely losing their minds, wondering where he got a god-tier skill like Blink. Turns out, the skill is from his elite necklace, but it has a pretty hefty cooldown. And with Blink on a 2-minute timer, he is now stuck face-to-face with the very angry bat. Even without his teleport, his agility is so insane he just weaves around its next attack. Meanwhile, the blonde teammate is convinced this is a genius strategy to lure them out one by one. Jiang Liu just smirks, knowing this slow and steady grind is exactly what he needs for his quest. A system pop-up confirms he is collecting vampire bat fangs, one painstaking kill at a time. So begins the most tedious grind in history, as he pulls and eliminates bat after bat. Each one goes down with a clean, efficient strike, adding to his growing pile of loot. A full 2 hours later, he has finally cleared the entire swarm except for one little straggler. In the process, he has leveled up twice, dumping every single new point straight into agility. With the side quest complete and over 200 fangs collected, his eyes lock onto his true target. He turns around to find his party just casually chilling in the background, because of course they are. One guy went for a snack and the blonde literally took a nap during the carry, the absolute audacity. Unbothered, Jiang Liu just points to the little pink bat, announcing it is the last one left. This one competent teammate starts chewing them out for slacking off during a masterclass performance. Now that they are ready, Jiang Liu tells them to wait for his blink to cool down just to be safe. But the blue-haired guy, full of newfound courage, decides he will take on the tiny final boss. And he immediately gets punted into the stratosphere for his trouble. Guess that is a no from the expert. This blue-haired guy charges forward with a mighty roar, ready to teach this tiny bat a lesson. What a hero. But the little bat's eyes flare a demonic red, suddenly looking a lot less harmless. It casually dodges his attack with a vortex of wind, leaving the guy completely stunned midair. And then he gets absolutely slammed into the ground for his troubles, eating dirt while his team watches. Zhang Liu immediately senses something is terribly wrong while the others are still processing the epic fail. Because that little bat just transformed into a massive, mutated vampire lord. So much for an easy fight. His new teammates are losing their minds over its 4,000 HP, realizing they are completely outclassed. One immortal tells Zhang Liu to take the others and run, offering to sacrifice himself to buy them time. His crew, however, refuses to leave, saying they will just revive if they die because that is a great strategy. He desperately begs Zhang Liu to talk some sense into his overconfident, soon-to-be-dead party members. Instead, Zhang Liu dangles the one thing they cannot resist, the chance of a hidden class medal dropping. One immortal's principles vanish instantly, and he is suddenly ready to follow any plan Zhang Liu has. This strategy is simple. They spread out with health potions and try not to die while he does all the work. With that settled, the giant bat monster comes crashing down on our boy like a freight train. It unleashes a vicious purple energy slash that Zhang Liu barely manages to evade. He looks up at the beast, his dagger glowing, but something seems to be puzzling him. His follow-up attacks land for pitiful double-digit damage, barely even scratching the monster's hide. This bat just looks annoyed, not even remotely hurt by the pathetic pokes it is receiving. Zhang Liu's Eye of Insight activates, but he is shocked to find he cannot see any weaknesses at all. Behind him, the party starts to panic, wondering why their god tier carry's damage just dropped to nothing. One immortal's teammate starts to panic, telling Zhang Liu if he cannot win, they are all dead meat. Meanwhile, our boy is still swinging, but his attacks are hitting like wet noodles for double-digit damage. He's completely baffled because his Eye of Insight skill is not showing a single weakness on this thing. This giant bat monster decides it has had enough, winding up for a massive purple energy claw swipe. And it connects, slamming Zhang Liu and knocking off a solid 214 HP for his trouble. This impact sends a shockwave through the cave, a direct hit that looks absolutely brutal. His entire party just watches in horror, screaming his name like their carry is already gone. Now he is on the ground with a nasty bleed effect, losing 50 HP a second as the bat looms over him. With blood in the water, the monster dives in again, ready to finish the job. But the B team suddenly finds their courage, jumping in to block for him, a truly terrible idea. Zhang Liu desperately chugs a health potion, trying to outheal the bleed while his party asks if he is okay. He has to admit this is a little trickier than planned, asking for a quick timeout to strategize. Just then, a hand lands on his shoulder as the damage numbers keep ticking down. It is the competent teammate offering him potions and promising the others can hold the line for a bit. Zhang Liu asks for a little more time, worried they are about to call for backup he does not want. But the guy just smiles, saying they will hold out because they have complete faith he will pull through. This sudden, genuine trust catches Zhang Liu completely off guard. He is not used to this at all. We flash back to his real life where he has always been the one needing to be taken care of. Another memory shows him being told to rest, reinforcing this idea that he is too fragile to handle things. And back in the game, their cheers about how reliable he is clash with his own deep-seated belief that he is a weakling. This newfound trust sparks something in Zhang Liu, who decides he is going to live up to the hype. Meanwhile, the blonde archer tries to taunt the beast, landing attacks for a glorious 1 damage a pop. Her blue-haired buddy immediately starts yelling at her for wasting arrows, peak team synergy right there. While Zhang Liu chugs a potion, one immortal asks if he has come up with a winning strategy yet. Our boy confirms he has a plan, but it is gonna require everyone's full cooperation to pull off. He needs them to buy him just a few seconds by pinning the monster down with ranged attacks. One immortal looks less than confident, knowing that is a pretty tall order for his crew. But the blue-haired guy, ever the hero, charges in yelling that he will handle it himself. His grand plan involves using that archer class change medal they just got. He announces he is becoming an archer, conveniently borrowing the blonde teammate's bow for the job. One immortal desperately tries to talk him out of it since you only get 1 class change ever. Ignoring his boss completely, the guy confirms the change, telling him to stop nagging the absolute nerve. Zhang Liu just sighs and tells the other archer to give him the bow and save her arrows. In a flash of blue light, the guy officially becomes an apprentice archer ready for glory. Now called Immortal Jiu, he strikes a pose, feeling pretty good about his new career path. This bat monster immediately decides to welcome the new guy to the party by dive-bombing him. Full of unearned confidence, Immortal Jiu draws back his glowing arrow, ready to make his mark. He lets it fly, sending a massive beam of energy hurtling toward the monster's face. This shot lands for a truly breathtaking 67 damage, a real game changer. And he is over the moon, cheering that he did more damage than Zhang Liu, bless his clueless heart. This bat monster just stares down, completely unimpressed by the new archer's massive damage. And just like that, Immortal Jiu's bravado vanishes as he begs Zhang Liu to save him from the dive-bombing boss. From above, Zhang Liu swoops in with a taunt, drawing the monster's attention from the glorified pincushion. Its glowing red eye immediately locks onto him, completely taking the bait. Jiang Liu just smirks, revealing he finally found the weakness. It was in the eye the whole time. His next strike lands for a massive 519 damage, proving his theory was right on the money. Down below, the new archer is having a full-blown existential crisis about his damage output. Standing on its head, Jiang Liu orders Immortal Ju to aim for the eyes, coordinating the attack. Fired up, the guy actually listens for once, drawing back his bow for a follow-up shot. His arrow connects for 120 damage, and he immediately declares himself a genius. Of course he does. This rest of the party cannot believe their eyes, shocked that these two are actually working together. Meanwhile, Jiang Liu keeps up the pressure, landing a flurry of slashes right on the weak spot. Another huge hit lands for 480 damage, steadily chipping away at the boss's health bar. But Immortal Ju is already getting jealous, whining that Jiang Liu is stealing his spotlight. Our boy just laughs it off, telling the master archer to go ahead and take the shot. With his ego fully restored, the guy charges up a special arrow, ready for his moment of glory. This shot lands for a pathetic 53 damage, so much for the master archer's big move. His teammates immediately start roasting him for the pitiful damage, and he tells them to shut it. Deciding he has had enough of this circus, Jiang Liu raises his dagger for the finishing blow. He plunges it straight into the monster's eye, unleashing a massive critical hit that ends the fight. This massive Batlord lets out one final roar as it shatters into a storm of blue data. With the boss finally dead, a glorious shower of loot orbs rains down around Jiang Liu. He's actually a little disappointed, realizing his dagger's 10x damage proc never even went off. Meanwhile, one immortal is telling his team he literally found this god-tier player at a street stall. Jiang Liu checks the drops and is stunned to find 2 legendary light orbs among the loot. Turns out they are hidden class change medals, one for a wind whisper and one for a druid. This blonde teammate is absolutely freaking out, asking if they are really hidden class medals. Her eyes are literally sparkling with pure, unadulterated greed. The jackpot has been hit. While she celebrates striking it rich, Jiang Liu calmly says he will keep one and give them the other. One immortal tries to be noble, saying the trip was so dangerous Jiang Liu should take both. But our boy is a man of his word, handing over the druid medal because a promise is a promise. Suddenly, Immortal Ju pops up, claiming he deserves the reward for all his hard work. What a hero. Just then, the sound of a blade slicing through the air cuts his victory speech short, and Immortal Ju gets impaled by a massive pink crystal sword, looking utterly shocked. His entire party just stares in horror, completely blindsided by the sudden, brutal attack. Behind him stands a smug-looking guy in armor who casually says the rewards belong to him. As Immortal Ju dissolves into pixels, the attacker mocks his group for using such trash gear. One immortal recognizes the peaker, yelling that their two groups had a non-interference pact. This new guy Zing Hang just smirks, accusing them of stealing gear his guild dropped on a beach. Now he is here with his whole crew, furious that one immortal dared to team up with their mortal enemy. Zing Hang's whole crew is here, looking smug as he announces he is taking the first shot. His teammates lay out the terms, hand over the medals and gear for a quick death, so generous. One immortal is absolutely livid, screaming the name of the guild that just backstabbed them. But Jiang Liu calmly steps in front of him, saying he will handle these clowns himself. This peaker just scoffs, mocking our boy for having a measly 4 first kill achievements. He then flexes his massive glowing crystal sword, clearly unimpressed by the competition. With all the confidence in the world, he dares Jiang Liu to even try fighting him one-on-one. One immortal suddenly has a moment of recognition, realizing this is not just some random peaker. This guy's ego is astronomical, claiming the forums debate who is stronger, but Jiang Liu is not worthy. His title pops up, blood-drinking Mad Saber, a name that just screams edgy antagonist. Jiang Liu immediately realizes what is up. This dude is rocking a powerful hidden class. To make things worse, his teammates whip out camera drones to livestream the whole beatdown. Zing Hang gets right up in the camera's lens, officially challenging Jiang Liu to a public duel. This game's forums instantly explode with the news that 2 legendary solo players are about to fight. Jiang Liu accepts without a second thought, walking forward as his team begs him to reconsider. One immortal frantically explains this guy is a paranoid psycho who builds pure crit and has never lost. This peaker just smirks, knowing his hidden class and crit-focused build make him a nightmare to fight. Desperate, one immortal tells Jiang Liu he should use one of the medals to get his own hidden class. This rest of the party chimes in, putting all their faith in him to pull off a miracle. Jiang Liu just stares at the 2 floating class medals, weighing his options for the fight ahead. Jiang Liu hands over the medals, telling one immortal he is confident he will not lose a crit battle. He gets all serious, saying a rush choice is disrespectful to the outcome, so dramatic. As he steps up to the massive peaker, the stream chat is already thirsting over how handsome he is. This forums are going wild, hyping the showdown between the first kill player and the top solo act. Zing Hang smugly offers him time to heal, making it clear there is no surrender allowed. But our boy just says there is no need, because he is already more than ready to go. This peaker roars for him to die and lunges forward, his crystal sword glowing with malice. He unleashes a massive pink energy slash that tears a trench right through the cave floor. Even Jiang Liu is taken aback, realizing just how insanely fast this guy's attack is. His new teammates can only watch in horror, screaming for their expert to be careful. But Jiang Liu just gracefully leaps right over the devastating attack like it is nothing. He then uses the guy's own sword as a ramp to launch himself into the air. Zing Hang is actually impressed by his reflexes, though he still calls him an idiot, of course. At that moment, Zhang Liu's eye of insight flares to life, analyzing his opponent. He lands 2 quick strikes for a measly 180 damage, barely scratching the guy's health. Zhengsheng manages to block the third hit with his gauntlet, sparks flying from the impact. Our boy is genuinely shocked that his follow-up attack was completely stopped. He immediately disengages, using his insane agility to create some distance and rethink his plan. This audience is freaking out over his stats, but they still think he is losing because of his low damage. They clash again in a flurry of blows, and Zhang Liu manages to land another hit. Zhang Liu lands a couple of quick jabs, but the damage numbers are just pitifully low. He's getting frustrated, realizing this guy is blocking his crits and has not even used a potion yet. Meanwhile, Zhengsheng just flashes a psycho grin, tanking every hit without a care in the world. From the sidelines, his guild leader smugly announces he has already figured out Zhang Liu's attack pattern. This guy's grand strategy is simple: just block the third hit and our boy's damage becomes a joke. This stream chat, of course, is already calling Zhang Liu a disappointment and hyping up their boy Zhengsheng. His guild leader then orders his crew to camp the revive spot to kill Zhang Liu back to level 0, peak sportsmanship. Turns out this is all a corporate scheme to recruit Zhengsheng and get a promotion. What a visionary. Back in the fight, Zhang Liu dodges another one of Zhengsheng's flashy, over-the-top swings. Our boy is starting to sweat, admitting that even his max speed cannot seem to crack this guy's defense. And just to rub it in, Zhengsheng starts regenerating health, taunting that he can predict every move. His teammates reveal it as a broken hidden class skill that heals him after he takes damage. Down below, Zhang Liu's temporary allies are starting to realize their expert might be in over his head. Zhengsheng decides he is done playing, calling Zhang Liu trash before charging up a massive crit. His eyes start glowing with pure, unadulterated edgelord energy as he powers up his big move. A massive red aura explodes around him as he lets out a dramatic, villainous roar. Realizing this is a do not let the boss finish casting moment, Zhang Liu rushes in to interrupt. He unleashes a desperate flurry of strikes, but Zhengsheng just eats the damage like it is an appetizer. Glowing like a demonic Christmas tree, the P-Cur screams for our boy to die already. And Zhang Liu can only stare in shock, realizing he might have actually messed up this time. Zhengsheng unleashes a massive energy wave, forcing Zhang Liu to dodge midair. Landing hard, Zhang Liu realizes his blink skill just saved him from a one-shot kill. This P-Cur just laughs, boasting that his spammable skill puts Zhang Liu's cooldowns to shame. But our boy is already analyzing, convinced there is a window of opportunity between attacks. With his dagger glowing, he charges right back into the fray, refusing to back down. He lands a flurry of strikes, but the damage numbers are just insultingly low. Zhengsheng just gets angrier, screaming for him to die already real subtle. Another gale burst / connects, hitting Zhang Liu for a whopping 415 damage. This impact sends him flying, and for a second it looks like it is all over. He manages to create some distance, but he has clearly taken a serious beating. Down to just 12 HP, Zhang Liu frantically chugs a potion to stay in the game. Zhengsheng is absolutely loving it, grinning like a psycho who just got his favorite toy. From the sidelines, one Immortals party has completely lost hope, unable to even watch. Meanwhile, the P-Cur's guild is already celebrating their victory and planning the victory parade. Zhengsheng declares this the end of Zhang Liu's dream and the dawn of his own edgy era. He taunts our boy about taking his gear, but Zhang Liu just grips his dagger, looking focused. Zhang Liu admits to himself this is bad luck, his eyes glowing with a new resolve. He gets into a ready stance, thinking it is about time for a certain something to trigger. Of course, Zhengsheng misreads this as desperation, calling him trash for not accepting his fate. Zhang Liu closes the distance again, landing more weak hits as he pushes for an opening. Zhang Liu roars that he only needs one shot, his dagger's passive finally triggering. And bam, a nearly 4,000 damage crit pops up, absolutely chunking the P-Cur's health bar. Zhengsheng just stares down in total disbelief, unable to process what just happened to him. As the edgelord dissolves into pixels, Zhang Liu lands, having just pulled off a one-shot kill. His digital ghost is still screaming in denial, refusing to accept his perfect record is ruined. From the sidelines, his guildmates are completely losing it over that impossible damage number. Even one Immortals team is stunned, barely processing that they actually just won. This stream chat is going nuts, realizing that insane damage was a passive, not even a skill. Zhengsheng's guild leader is having an absolute meltdown, livid that his star player just got humiliated. In a panic, he orders his team to kill the livestream before this gets any more embarrassing. Sometime later, Zhang Liu is checking out the loot from a different kill, a shield and a scroll. And it is another jackpot, a hidden class medal for Edgebreaker and a unique treasure map. His celebration is cut short by some new guy in heavy armor demanding he hand over the goods. This dude's entire party shows up, ready to jump Zhang Liu while he is supposedly vulnerable. But another team intercepts, their brawler blocking the attack and telling the guy to back off. This armored guy gets blasted with a couple of crits, shocked to see he is fighting the immortal group. Their fighter just smirks, throwing the guy's own strike-first philosophy right back at him. Turns out this crew had just finished their own boss fight right before spotting Zhang Liu's loot. With the tables turned, Zhang Liu casually offers his new allies the chance to take the lead. This two remaining goons from the other party brace for impact, trying to hold the line. This two remaining goons immediately panic, screaming that they cannot possibly tank that kind of damage. Their leader furiously yells at them to stop running and hold their ground, but they just abandon him completely, leaving Jiang Liu to watch the hilarious retreat. On the sidelines, the immortal crew just laughs at the pathetic display of cowardice. With the threat gone, one immortal holds out the 2-class medals he was keeping safe. He gratefully returns them to Jiang Liu now that the battle is officially over. As a thank you, Jiang Liu gives him the medal and gear dropped by Zing Hang. This loot includes the Edgebreaker hidden class and some pretty slick gauntlets. Our boy keeps the other medal, figuring its name points to a speed-based class that suits him. One immortal gets all emotional and asks for a hug, which Jiang Liu shuts down instantly. His teammate then tries to recruit Jiang Liu into their group, the Immortal Tech Group. He politely declines for now but promises they will be his first call if he joins an organization. To show their gratitude, one immortal transfers him a staggering 100,000 star coins. Jiang Liu is completely stunned, his jaw on the floor at the massive payment. He tries to argue, reminding them they only agreed to 20,000 per person for the job. But one immortal explains that thanks to him, their team scored dozens of medals in the cave. He credits Jiang Liu for making their group a top-tier organization overnight. Plus, by defeating the strongest solo player, our boy has now claimed that title for himself. This guy even admits his company's management wants him to befriend Jiang Liu, so the money is an investment. And Jiang Liu happily accepts, already dreaming about all the fancy meals he can afford. With the job done, Jiang Liu waves goodbye to his new friends, ready to check out a new map. This blonde teammate immediately asks her boss why he did not try harder to recruit their expert. He just teases her for wanting to get closer to her new hero, and she is absolutely busted. Watching him go, the guy is just glad he is an ally because Jiang Liu is destined for greatness. Now alone, Jiang Liu ventures into a branching ice cave, wondering where the path leads. He finds it strange that there are no other players, just an eerie silence and a biting cold. This chill feels so realistic he can see his own breath, making him question the game's physics. Suddenly, sharp ice crystals erupt from the ground, shooting up around his feet. He is completely shocked to find himself frozen solid to the floor, unable to move at all. A massive shadow falls over him, and you just know something terrible is about to happen. And that something makes its presence known with a squeak and a mouth full of nightmares. A giant mutated ice bat demon appears, its stats revealing it is a level 25 world boss. Jiang Liu is losing his mind. A monster this powerful should not even be in this area. This beast lets out a roar, charging up a massive frost attack from its perch. It unleashes a devastating wave of ice, and all he can do is brace for impact. He is already sweating, realizing this thing is an even bigger freak than the peaker he just fought. This ice demon roars again, its glowing eyes locked onto its completely helpless prey. Towering over him, the monster highlights just how screwed our boy really is right now. A close-up on his feet confirms he is still stuck fast in the ice with no escape route. With no options left, Jiang Liu starts to panic, thinking this might actually be where he dies. Cornered, Jiang Liu decides using the class medal is way better than dying and losing his gear. A system window pops up to confirm the Wind Whisper class change, and he is about to accept. But suddenly, a mysterious voice chants an incantation, binding the giant ice bat in purple chains. With the monster completely immobilized, Jiang Liu is just stunned, wondering who the hell just intervened. Another spell summons a tide of raging lightning, promising to burn everything to ash. And a massive thunderbolt absolutely nukes the boss for nearly 11,000 damage in one shot. Our boy is just losing his mind, screaming about that insane 5-digit damage number. A woman with long purple hair appears from the shadows, casually asking if he is alright. This bunny-eared lady Lunaria then tells him to survive 3 of her moves. Great, a pop quiz. Jiang Liu's brain just short-circuits, completely baffled by this sudden turn of events. Without any warning, she lunges forward, throwing a supercharged punch right at his face. Her fist stops just an inch from his nose, a terrifying display of absolute control. In a flash of purple lightning, she is already behind him, forcing him to use a speed skill to dodge. He barely gets away, realizing her speed is so insane he almost got one shot right there. Stunned, he can only process how unbelievably terrifying this woman's combat power is. She critiques his form from above, saying his reaction speed is decent, but he relies too much on skills. Even his Eye of Insight cannot keep up with her, her movements are just a complete blur. He frantically tries to find her, but she is already materialized right behind his back again. A lightning-fast kick comes flying at his head, forcing him to duck for his life. And on the ground, he keeps a running tally, shouting that that was her second move. Lunaria is actually impressed he dodged on instinct, her massive sword just chilling on her shoulder. Now she is challenging him to dodge a sword strike, and Jiang Liu is already calling foul, hey, no weapons. With a terrifyingly cheerful smile, she brings the massive blade down for her final move. This woman is so fast she is creating afterimages, basically spamming blink all around him. Jiang Liu steels himself, knowing he absolutely has to block this last attack to survive. His mind flashes back to the peaker Zing Hang, who read his every move like an open book. Back then, his own Eye of Insight was used against him, letting the enemy predict his attacks. Putting himself in her shoes, his glowing eye calculates the perfect counter for a final, decisive blow. He decides to meet her attack head-on, aiming for the one weak point in her form. And he pulls it off, perfectly parrying her massive sword with just his tiny dagger. Talk about a skill check. A quest-complete window pops up, and Lunaria asks if he will accept the temple's inheritance. Jiang Liu is over the moon, celebrating that he has finally finished her quests and is about to get a super strong class. He immediately accepts her offer, practically begging to become her student and get his awesome new powers. With a knowing smirk, she reveals the special class he has earned from her temple, and the grand prize is a bard, yep, a magical musician. Our boy is just staring at the emblem, thinking this sounds way less cool than the Wind Whisper class he already had. For his insolence, Lunaria gives him a furious noogie, scolding him for not appreciating their unique inheritance. She then mentions his Wind Whisper medal is not half bad, and he immediately tries to get it back. Complimenting his heavenly fate, she piques his curiosity about this mysterious attribute she mentioned before. She cryptically explains it is a hidden luck stat tied to his destiny, a key to his survival. Lunaria cryptically explains his heavenly fate has a price and his reasons for being here are unique. Then she just casually asks if his real-world body is about to kick the bucket. Talk about a mood killer. Zhang Liu's brain completely short-circuits, realizing this NPC somehow knows his deepest, darkest secret. She quickly backpedals, saying any more info would be dangerous and he should just focus on the class change for now. Holding the emblem, he wonders if this new power is the key to actually saving his life. With a flash of light, a system window confirms he is officially a bard apprentice. This class change completes and he is feeling the flow of his new, hopefully awesome power. He checks his stats only to find absolutely nothing has changed, a bit of an anticlimax. Eagerly, he asks about his new combat skills, hoping for some of her lightning-fast moves. But Lunaria just shatters his dreams, informing him bards are a support class with zero ultimate skills. His world comes to a screeching halt at the two most horrifying words in gaming, support class, and our boy absolutely loses it, screaming that his new teacher totally scammed him. Unfazed, she offers to teach him 3 skills, but he immediately tries to haggle for 6. This negotiation quickly devolves until she threatens to teach him nothing, forcing him to instantly agree. Of course, there is a catch. Each skill has a hefty introductory fee of 20 gold coins. When he balks at the price, she offers an alternative payment and just straight up yoinks his amethyst sword. She even has the nerve to critique the sword's craftsmanship before reluctantly accepting it as payment. A system notification confirms he has learned 4 new skills, so at least the transaction went through. He is left fuming, realizing his new master is basically a demoness who steals anything shiny. Checking the skill descriptions, he finds they are actually insane buffs and debuffs. Maybe this was not such a bad deal after all. Zhang Liu checks his new skills and is absolutely floored by the insane buffs and debuffs. He is suddenly a true believer in the bard class, and Lunaria is just smugly enjoying his change of heart. With a final instruction to train and meet her later, Lunaria and her heart begin to fade away. Left alone in the cave, he has a ton of questions but figures he will just ask her next time. Just as he is about to leave, a strange light from deeper in the cave catches his attention. He investigates and finds the loot dropped by the giant ice bat demon she nuked earlier. And it is another hidden class medal, this time for an ice archer. Talk about good luck. Our boy is just grinning at his new prize, completely unaware that his teacher is still watching him. She is super intrigued by his heavenly fate, eager to see how he will keep changing his destiny. Following the path, Zhang Liu finally spots a bright light signaling the cave's exit. He steps out not into more ice, but into a stunningly beautiful meadow called the Illusion Dream Plains. For a moment, he just soaks in the peaceful wonderland, butterflies and all, a nice change of pace. But his peace is shattered when someone yells at him, demanding to know how he got out of the cave. 2 players from Team 12 block his path, telling him the cave is their turf and he needs to scram. Zhang Liu recognizes the name from his chat with one immortal, realizing they are here for the boss that is already dead. Before he can even explain, the ground cracks as one of them lunges forward to attack, and the red-haired berserker is already on him, demanding he spit out whatever loot he got from their monster.